Hi. This is not a reusable cup. I'm very, very sorry. I decided to get Starbucks on a whim because I had my first midterm today, and I think I did okay. Not great, not super excellent, but okay despite the circumstances, because it's a class where all of us barely grasp what's being taught. Anyway, I was sitting here after school watching a little bit of Vlogbrothers, who I haven't watched in a long, long time, but they just put me in such a chill mood that I thought, oh, I'm gonna film my video early. Because it's Wednesday and the videos go up on Friday, and usually I'm either filming it the day of or the day before, late at night. So we're doing good this week. So this week I wanted to talk about theater etiquette and how actors in Broadway shows specifically, because these are the ones you hear about, react to people behaving badly in the theater. And my thoughts on it, because I think I have a bit of an unpopular opinion. Maybe it's not, maybe it is, I don't know. I feel like it's an unpopular opinion. Recently, a Broadway actor, I forget who it was, let me just Google it really quick. Joshua Henry, in an off-Broadway play of, off-Broadway production of the play The Wrong Man, took a cell phone from an audience member in the middle of a performance because he was texting or something. I think, was he texting or was he filming the show? Yeah, they were using a phone. This is maybe the third instance I've heard of an actor stopping a performance to berate an audience member for using a phone. Now, my hot take isn't that I think people should be able to use phones in theaters. No, I think it's incredibly distracting and I hate it when people do it, especially when they've got the brightness turned all the way up. And it's just distracting, especially if an usher has to come and tell you to put it away, because then it like disrupts everybody around you. It's just, I don't think it's right. Don't use your phones at the theater. And this is, by the way, completely separate from my bootleg discussion, because I have different feelings on that, but you get what I'm saying. So there was another incident where I believe it was Patti LuPone stopped an entire show to berate an audience member for having a phone out. And there was, I think, at least one other one. It might have been Glenn Close when she was doing Sunset Boulevard, I want to say. And whenever I hear about these, like, incidents, the overall reception to them seems to be like, yeah, you go, it's so disrespectful, that's so great, oh my gosh, she's amazing. Like, that's such a badass thing to do. Where I tend to think of it from an audience perspective, not the audience member who was using the phone. I don't really have any respect for them, but I'm thinking of like just another audience member in the house. And I think about how disruptive that is to the rest of basically for the rest of the show, because as somebody who is, I'm very anxious and I've got that fun ADHD, little distractions, especially in theater settings where it's very quiet where you're sitting, so the littlest noise or movement is very obvious, at least to my ear and to my mind. I was at Anastasia where somebody kept just talking behind me and then people were singing along in front of me and you couldn't help but hear it, and it would make me physically on edge the whole show because I was afraid, like, during certain musical numbers they were going to be disruptive. So if I were to go to a show and an actor were to stop everything to yell at somebody in the audience, that would put me on edge for the rest of the show, and it would just take me out of it because I'd be afraid they'd do it again, or I'd be afraid like some kind of altercation was going to happen, because I also don't really like confrontation. I don't like when people get like heated in public because I always worry that it's going to get like violent and I don't want to be around that. It just makes me nervous. So I don't like that they stop entire shows just to yell at an audience member, and I don't care who you are, because I know one of them was Patti LuPone and she's a legend. I don't care who you are. The slogan of show business is the show must go on. You are taught to continue through anything, unless of course somebody dies. That's a whole separate thing. But you're taught to keep going despite any distractions. And people just shutting down a whole production just to yell at somebody just seems to disregard everybody else who's behaving themselves. And I mean, they embarrass the person who's on their phone, which yes, I guess that's right, but there are more, I guess, more subtle ways to get this point across. Like, let the ushers handle it. If the ushers don't see it when you go off stage, let somebody know and let it get to front of house so you can, like, you're on the stage, you can see what row they're in, you can tell whomever exactly where they are, and it can be quietly dealt with rather than ruining a show for everybody else. And I've had this thought for a while. I put a Tumblr post out about it. No, it didn't really get picked up, and maybe I didn't want it to because, like, I didn't want to have to deal with, like, arguments or anything. But I don't like the thought of, like, a show just coming to a halt because one person decided to misbehave. Yes, it's bad that they took the photo or they were using their phone or something, but the actor did not have to make a scene. And that's kind of what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying the guy is correct. I'm just saying there are better ways to handle it than yelling at somebody in the middle of a show. It's just so disruptive because what they were doing was probably disturbing maybe the people surrounding them in close proximity. You just shut down a whole show and that just ruins it for the entire goddamn theater. And that's my issue with it. Like, I don't care who you are, you don't get to do that. And like I said, and I'm gonna repeat it a million times, I don't think the person who disrupted, like, the audience, like, by being on their phone is right. But I don't think the actor on stage making a scene is correct either. So that's just my thought on it. I don't know what you have to say. I just think it completely just ruins the experience for everybody, and it's not actually that person's fault when that happens because there are better ways to handle it. Like, I mean, I would even be okay with you making an angry tweet after the fact because at least the show kept going and the people who did behave don't get punished for one stupid person's, like, you know, lack of judgment or something. I just think it's ridiculous and it's an over-the-top reaction, and there are better ways to have the person removed or have the phone taken away or something. There are just better ways to handle things. This is editing Lindsey. Another method I will accept is what Lin-Manuel Miranda did during Hamilton when someone was filming the show, which was add, like, a please stop line into one of his raps. I would even allow that because it keeps the flow of the show. I just want to talk about that because I was doing research afterwards just to see, like, which other actors have done this. So, yes, I would accept that too. I don't think stopping a show in its tracks just to yell at somebody, because it would ruin the rest of the show for me because I'd be taken out of it. It would ruin it. So I guess that's it. I thought this was going to be much longer, but I think I got my point across. So tell me your thoughts down below. I'm very curious. I haven't had really a discussion with anybody about this, so I really, really want to know. What do you think of this? Because, like I said, I just think it ruins it for everybody else. And I don't think that's necessarily 100% the fault of the person in the audience. It's the actor that creates the major disturbance. So, tell me what you think. If you like this video, like it. If you like me, subscribe. I post new theater and media videos every Friday. I don't know why I had to look at the calendar. And if you want updates on, like, my videos, anything like that, follow me on Instagram. That's where all of my updates, anything involving this channel usually goes through Instagram. So if you want to take a look at that, follow me at Lindsey Taft Music. All my other social media links are down there. And yeah, I will see you next week.